I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The Mariners' best reliever is Justin Topa.
And I didn't realize this run he was on, to be honest, until we decided yesterday to talk about this. I wouldn't have noticed the fact that he has not given up. He has given up one earned run in his last 23 and a third innings, dated back to that national series in which we declared the season was over. Like, that's how long in that span since that series, he's given up one earned run. So, yeah, by results, yes, he is.
Now, that is until today being the day we're recording on Wednesday, where he did give up one run to the A's. But that being said, dude has been on an absolute tear. So entering Wednesday, he's had an 0.68 ERA since June 15th. Since July 1st, it's been 0.40. And this run he gave up on Wednesday against the A's snapped a streak of what was 18 consecutive scoreless appearances. Justin Topa has been absolutely lethal.
And this also comes at the right time where Matt Brash and Andres Munoz have been struggling to sort of figure themselves out in August. For as hot as the Mariners have been in August, it hasn't come without some struggles from your two best stuff relievers in Brash and Munoz. And Munoz had a nice clean inning today to finish up the game with the A's. But it hasn't been all easy sailing for him as he's been trying to navigate his sophomore season with the Mariners. And Brash as well in his own sophomore season. It's not been 100% consistent. Well, Justin Topa, just this random 32-year-old rookie who the Mariners traded from the Brewers for Joseph Hernandez in the offseason, doesn't seem to be having that issue. I mean, he is very confident in his stuff, and it's worked remarkably. Here's the best stat of all of that, what you just mentioned. In that stretch that I mentioned, he's not given up a single barrel. Not one. And a barrel, by the way, for those who forgot what that is, it's the right combination of exit velocity and launch angle. A barrel is essentially what you want for a home run. Essentially, you hit it between X and X, and you hit it over 95 miles an hour.
Is Topa technically a rookie? I thought he surpassed that. I mean, I know he hasn't thrown many innings, but
I think he is technically a rookie, isn't he? Let me look. I'll sniff this out.
Okay. While you look, my bet on that is no, by the way, but let's see. While you look that up, I would also like to mention, just piggybacking off of what you said, with him not giving up barrels, evidently, he doesn't really give up home runs. Like, his home run per 9 rate is about 0.9. Like, he doesn't give up the long ball. Nobody hits him hard either, as evident from the barrels, because he is ranked in the 98th percentile in barrel percentage. He is ranked in the 96th percentile in xERA. He's in the 95th percentile in expected slugging. Nobody hits Topa hard. He gets so many soft ground balls and weak contact. This is what makes him good. And this is what the Mariners thought could make him good when they traded for him, is he gets so much soft contact from his pitch repertoire. I mean, he's a big sinker slider guy. And as a result, people don't really hit him.
Yeah, I can't really find an answer on this. Yeah, I did find all of that. I guess you're right, because he has 2 full years of service technically by the counter.
Right.
So that's right. Maybe I was just misreading something. Yeah, man, dude, that sinker is unreal. It is so effective. Like I mentioned with the barrel thing, right? The best thing about a sinker is you can't do the most damage with it. And we think about the ideal Mariners bullpen arm, say last year, right? They last year, in terms of, what was that number I have here? It was ground ball rate, right? We think about the Mariners bullpen as a whole, right? This year, they've been one of the best bullpens in baseball at generating ground balls. They are 3rd in baseball in generating ground balls. Last year, they were 28th, right? Without guys like Justin Topa, without guys like Gabe Spire or Taylor Saucedo, who generate a lot of ground balls. It's what Justin Topa does is overall been an evolution of this Mariners bullpen from what they were last year to what they are this year. And this year, despite less household names and trading Paul Sewald away, the effectiveness has continued because they've found ways to evolve and be effective by, instead of getting a bunch of strikeouts, is getting a bunch of ground balls.
Topa's ground ball rate is 58%. Yeah, that's high. That is very, very high. But I will say about Topa, while he gets a bunch of ground balls and soft contact, let's not twist the narrative here. He's not getting ground balls as being this guy who throws, 91, 92. He has a little bit of a low 90s fastball. No, he throws 98 miles an hour. Justin Topa throws 97 to 98 miles an hour. He is not just hitting his spots and generating weak contact. He is hitting his spots. His command's been pretty good. But he throws with heat. It's not like he's throwing in the low 90s. He just gets guys to swing and hit balls into the ground because they cannot time up his hard sinker.
Is it safe to say that he's the 2021 Paul Sewald or the 2022 Eric Swanson of this bullpen?
Yeah, he is the breakout guy, and it's not to throw aside Spire or Saucedo or some of the other guys that have really started to help out, even somebody like Isaiah Campbell. But this is just highlighting that the guy you didn't expect to be much of anything at the time of the trade has turned into arguably the highest leverage arm in the bullpen. If that's what you mean, I am fully in agreement.
Yeah, and there's speaking of good articles, Lookout Landing wrote a good article on Justin Topa that if you would like to learn more about his pitch mix, some things that I don't even have written down here that is including his cutter. Very, very, very interesting stuff. Too many numbers for me to say in this segment, but some very interesting stuff. Regardless, the Mariners wouldn't be where they are right now without Justin Topa. They wouldn't.
It's interesting. He's kind of taken over Munoz's old role. When Paul Sewald got traded, the roles were Sewald would usually close, Munoz would face the best guys in the order, Brash was the bridge guy. Now, Brash's role hasn't really changed, but now, not all the time, but more often, you will see Munoz strictly pitch the ninth, and you'll see Topa go out there against the heart of the lineup when they need him most, whether it's the 7th or 8th inning, and he's been effective doing it.
And another interesting thing I think about when we're throwing comps out there and roles. I was thinking back to when they signed him, and I think we mentioned on here, it's like, yeah, he's just like Paul Sewald. I mean, this is the Paul Sewald mold. They couldn't be any different, to be honest.
Totally different, because Paul Sewald throws high fastballs with good spin rate that get a lot of swing and miss, and then he throws a sweeping slider. What does Topa do? He throws deadly sinkers and gets a lot of soft ground ball contact. Sewald, for the most part, was always a strikeout guy, sans 2022.
Yeah, just an interesting thing. This Justin Topa has been such a revelation, and he's gonna continue to have to be a big part. He's gonna have to get some big outs down the stretch, and if Brash and Munoz falter at any point, they need him. They need he's number 3 now. I would say, number 3 actually. Well, we labeled him number 1 in this. On this podcast, we labeled him number 1. I would guess in Scott doesn't have rankings, or he says he doesn't have rankings. But if Scott's got his tier list, like one person to tier, Topa's now is number 3. That's his guy. So they're gonna need him.
I wouldn't be shocked if even Scott thinks higher of Topa than 3 at this point. Just because, again, he's facing the best guys in the order. It's not Brash. It's not Brash that's in there in the 8th inning facing 2, 3, and 4. Brash usually is the bridge guy with runners on base. We've seen Topa in the last couple weeks pitch in those very high leverage spots. Hasn't phased him one bit.
Nope. And that's just remarkable. And another ode to the Mariners' unbelievable pitching development. And I'm excited to see which scrap heap guy they put in there next year. That'll be interesting.